Well, good afternoon. You're listening to the Indie Author Show, also known as Pen and Ink. I have been changing the name just at the last quarter of this year, but some people still think of it as the Indie Author Show. I'm your host, Sue Miller, on Callan FM, and my guest today is Sarah Parkinson. Hello, Sarah.
Hello, Sue.
How are you?
I'm not too bad, thank you very much.
Oh, getting ready for Christmas, and you've got your second book out, so that's what we're going to be talking about today.
Yes.
It's all Tales from Willow Park.
Yes.
And the second one is called Dragonfly Pie.
Yes.
We're just going to go to a Christmas track just to kind of get everybody in the mood, and then we're going to come back and ask Sarah lots of questions about. She's not only the author, she's also the illustrator. So I've got lots of questions for you, Sarah.
Fantastic. Bring them on.
Okay. Well, that's a little bit of the Royal Philharmonic just to get us in the mood.
Lovely.
Yes.
What else do you need?
Yeah. All we need is snow.
Yes. Oh, that'd be lovely.
Yesterday was such a terrible rainstorm, wasn't it?
It was
yeah.
getting a bit murky, isn't it? We need a little bit of snow, and then nobody needs to go to work because we'll all be snowed in and we can just enjoy Christmas then.
That sounds like a good wish list. So, Sarah, you write you're Sarah Wilson, so I just want to get that out there in case I make a mistake, but you write as Sarah Parkinson.
That's right.
And this is your second book. Now, the first one was last year at the same time, wasn't it?
Yes, it was exactly the same release date.
It's around your birthday, isn't it?
No, it's actually. I'll be doing the next one. Will be hopefully around my birthday.
What was it? July. So it was just happened to be the same time. Then I was wondering if there was a specific reason for that.
No, I think it just so happened to work out that way. I think just the way I was looking at the calendar. So I thought, it could be the 21st. Might as well make it the 22nd again.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. So you're planning a series, and it's the Tales from Willow Park. Do you want to just give us a background on what that means? Where does Willow Park come from?
So Willow Park is actually a real park which is in St Helens in Newton-le-Willows, and it's a gorgeous. It's got so many gorgeous old trees in it. There's a lake, and it's such a great. I used to go walking there with Megan when she was little, and that was around the time when I was off on maternity with her, and I was just figuring out what I was going to do because I couldn't go back to my old job that I was at before having Meg, and I was just figuring out what I was going to do, and I decided to get inspiration hit really and decided to write a children's series based around the park because it's right next to the high street. There's so much kind of hustle and bustle going on around Newton-le-Willows, and so many great shops as well, independent shops that work around it. It's a lovely little hub, and it just sparked really because of the wildlife that's there as well, and with it being just on the doorstep of so many, where so many kids and everything will be around, and everyone has got their, not everyone has got a local pub. There's some kind of resource of wildlife that's nearby that you can take from, and it's free to go and walk through, isn't it, at the end of the day? And
there's loads of lovely parks now. I know you've moved a bit further. You're sort of right on the Shropshire North Wales border, aren't you?
Yeah.
But there's lots of countryside and so on.
Yeah,
in your new home. Yeah,
which we're settling into now very nicely with me and my husband and Megan, my daughter, as well.
Yeah.
So we just there's so much to be brought wherever you live. I mean, there it's Ellesmere Park, which is near us, which is beautiful, and
lots of ducks and geese there, aren't there? Yeah.
Yeah, and I think there's so much that I've learnt from my husband as well, because he did zoology as a degree whilst he was at university, and he's just always coming out with little tidbits of information and facts and things. He's just like that. It's wonderful to be married to because I'm just constantly learning. It's amazing. And my daughter as well will benefit from that when we're older. But he was telling me about some of the wildlife that's at the lake, and one that I hadn't even heard of, which was a grebe, which appears in my book. And
I learned something as well from reading your book. Yeah.
That's just it. I think there's some really amazing facts that you can gain from just finding out just a little bit more, digging in a little deeper beyond like the good ducks and geese. And yeah. It's,
Well, tell me a little bit about your background, because as I said at the start of the show, that you are an illustrator as well. So you did both the writing and the illustrating for this, and I know that's that's very stressful. I mean, it's stressful even just for somebody who's doing the writing, but you're having to do both, and you did the design and layout as well. So, just tell me a little bit about your background. Have you always drawn or painted?
yeah, when I've always drawn and painted. Yeah, well, since I could pick up a pencil, I think really. My mum really encouraged that when we were young, and we're all a bit creative in the family in some way or another. And yeah, I did at college. I did art foundation, and I did English as well. But I did. I've kind of trained up that way, and then went into advertising after that, because I was thinking I didn't know how I was going to use a creative something creative like that, and I thought, well, if it was kind of giving art a purpose per se, by going into advertising, I went and did that at University of Central Lancashire. So after I went into there and carried on, we'd learned a lot of things there, like using Photoshop and things that have actually come really in handy with doing what I'm doing now. So it's amazing the little things that you pick up and how it kind of, these little pieces add up to where we are now.
So your drawings or illustrations, you paint them, right?
Yeah, that's right.
You don't do them
no,
on the computer.
There's a little bit of post
you kinda,
that neatens things up a little bit.
Yeah.
If it's looking a little bit sketchy, or if there's like a stray brushstroke or something. But yeah, it's
and you do that on Photoshop.
Yeah. So it helps just to tidy it up a little bit and make things a little bit stronger. Perhaps.
So is this watercolor?
A mixture of watercolor, and this book particularly has got quite a lot of watercolor in it for the lake and for sunsets and things like that. It's really good for using for being able to get that effect, but it's acrylic and watercolor.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you use a combination.
Yeah.
And then you scan it in.
Yeah. Well, I don't scan it. I actually take pictures to be able to get the best quality.
Oh, do you?
Yeah. The scanning didn't work very well. I think we talked a little bit about this last time, actually. I think, but yeah, they by taking photos, it actually brings across the colours a lot better, the textures.
And then you can, if there's any shadows or whatever from the photograph, then you can fix that up on Photoshop.
Yeah, you just got to make sure
I
it's a
forgot about
well-lit
that,
area.
because I would have thought that scanning at at a high resolution would have been better than photos, but that's interesting.
Yeah, it just didn't work out as well when I tried it at all. So that's just the way that I've gone about it with both books, and it seems to go across quite well.
Well, the first book was a year ago, and that was The Shoe Foxes, which is lovely. So obviously the book is all about foxes, and then the second book is Dragonfly Pie, and it's about a dragonfly and some geese.
Yes.
And the glebe.
The grebe.
The grebe.
The grebe. So Grebe.
Yeah, I knew that. I was thinking.
Oh.
The glebe is a theater.
Oh,
isn't it? I think so.
You know more than me.
We're learning something new.
Always, every day's a school day. Every day's a school day. So it's the geese on the lake that have been kept up by, woken up early by the dragonflies dancing their noisy ballet in the morning. And a goose raises her head while looking around and says, "Let's bake them all into a dragonfly pie. We'll round them all up in a thick, hearty pastry with apples and cherries. It could be so tasty."
Yeah, actually, what I think I'll do is we'll go to a track in a few minutes, and then I'll get you to come back and read the story, because it's lovely. But I just, I was saying to you before the show started that the illustrations in this one are really add to the story. We were talking about how, as an author, you kind of, you get more confidence as you do more and more books. And I think even though you do still have these anxieties, everybody goes through that.
Yeah.
Well, no, but everybody goes through that.
Yeah.
And I think that once you see it in print, and then you think, oh, okay. And then you start thinking, Well, actually, I learned that from the last time, and then the next time you'll find something more that you learn, and it just the whole process becomes easier.
Yeah, it does.
So, but yeah,
A
I
lot more
really feel
confident.
for you, Sarah, because it must be really hard to.
It's actually I think because it's all I've known, I think it helps because it also means that I don't have that difficult part. I mean, I don't know whether or not my authors and illustrators find it difficult, but I think once you find a team that work well together, it's great,
Yeah.
isn't it? But I think being able to communicate what it is that you mean to your illustrator. I mean, it's all going on in my head. So I have the idea of what they're going to look like and how it's all going to work together, how the park's going to look, what the lighting's going to be like, little things like that right away from the beginning. So as I'm setting up the story, I'll make notes and things as I go along of what I think little shots might look like I'm filming. But yeah, it's what I'll think about things, angles quite early on.
We have we have quite a healthy. When I say we, Team Author UK has quite a healthy group of children's authors, and we have Sarah Fountain, who's basically our children's art director, and then we have a few different illustrators, and so Sarah will create the storyboard. So, because you're illustrating, you already have the storyboard in your head, but most authors won't. They might have the odd thing that they know that they want their character to be doing in a certain scene that goes with that verse. But for the most part, they're not. They don't spend a lot of time thinking the storyboard through. So that's what Sarah does. Sarah Fountain does is she will create the storyboard. Gets and sort of places the text. Okay, so she makes rough sketches of what illustrations will go with that text on that page. The author then approves it or makes any changes that they say, if they think, oh no, actually I'd like this with that, because it is difficult to get inside somebody else's head.
Definitely.
Then it goes to the illustrator, and the illustrator then has sort of the rough layout of where the text is going to go and what images are going to go with that text.
Yeah.
And then they can illustrate around it. So it's kind of like
an interesting process.
It is like this ballet that you're talking about here in this book, because it is a very fluid, and you all have to work together. And then my role is I help to make sure that the text is all correct, the spelling, the grammar, the punctuation, and then I do all the publishing bits. So there is a real
very good at it.
Collaborative. Thank you. There's a really good collaborative effort that has to go into all this. And
definitely.
We were even talking how you have to make sure that your text isn't too close to the edge, because then it gets trimmed, and it might you might trim some of the words, or even your illustration. You have to make sure that nothing overly important is too close to the edge of the page, because that will get trimmed at the printing process, So there's so many things to think about. And we're going to come back and we'll talk a little bit about you. You were an Amazon bestseller.
Yeah.
But in the
so glad.
Yeah, I know.
Relieved.
I know. Once you've been there once, you want to. It's
like I have to get it again.
I have to do it again. Yeah.
Just so glad that I got it. And I'm really, really chuffed with that. That was a good day.
I think our whole music tracks today, I was not going to do this, but I thought, oh, what the heck, let's just go all Christmas.
It's only it's not long until we actually get there now.
It's coming a bit too quickly, actually. I have a bare tree still sitting in my living room, so the tree's up, but there's nothing on it. No lights, no decorations. Come on.
Oh, why is what do you? I would have had you pegged as a 1st of December kind of girl.
I just don't have time.
Oh.
Doing books. I'm trying to think. I should have counted them up. I've probably published 6 books in the last 4 weeks, 3 weeks.
Yeah.
And I still have about 3 more to go.
Oh.
So I'm just, every minute of every day is working. So, but my daughter's coming home Thursday night, so she'll. If I can get the lights on the tree, she'll probably do the rest of the decorating. Yeah, she's coming home from university, so
that's the magical bit at the end of the day.
Because otherwise, she'll say, "Why is this tree bare?" And I'll say, "Because I was waiting for you, because I knew you wanted to do it."
That's what it was.
So you're listening to Pen and Ink on Callan FM. We're live fortnightly on Wednesdays from 12 to 1. And my guest today is Sarah Parkinson. She is a little bit of a rare breed in that she is a illustrator and author. So we've been talking about her newest book, Dragonfly Pie, and it's a series that she's creating called Tales from Willow Park, right?
That's right, yeah.
Yeah, and the first one she did was the Shoe Foxes. So obviously the main characters in the first book were foxes who
She was quite a main
and the
character.
shoe was a main character as well, but were foxes, and then the second one is primarily dragonflies, geese, and a grebe,
Yeah.
which we've all learned about. So, Sarah, would you like to read this story? It's not that long.
It's not
So, Dragonfly
nice.
Pie.
Just kind of relax with it now.
Yes.
By the edge of the lake, at the break of each day, the dragonflies buzz a noisy ballet. But the poor tired geese were desperate to snooze. Something needs to be done, there is nothing to lose. One goose raises her head, a wild look in her eye. Let's bake them all into a dragonfly pie. We could round them all up in a thick, hearty pastry with apples and cherries. It could be so tasty. However, this plan has a bit of a catch, as dragonfly dancers are so hard to snatch. This pie's going to take more work than we thought. Who's going to get all these dragonflies caught? An odd-looking bird swoops down overhead. Catch those dragonflies? That's easy, she said. And who might you be? The head goose exclaims. Don't you know? I'm a grebe, the new bird explains. So accepting the challenge, the grebe starts to glide, searching for places where dragonflies hide. She spots a wing flicker as it catches the light. The grebe lunges forward as she takes a big bite. Dragonfly zips out of the way in a flash, while the bird hits the water with an almighty splash. Kicking her feet, the grebe picks up the pace. Launching out of the lake, she gets back to the chase. With some ducking and diving, swerving and switching, the chase turns to a dance that was truly bewitching. Suddenly, the fly cries out in despair as the grebe grabs him during their dance in midair. Don't worry, little one, I'm calling a truce. But your noisy performance winds up that big goose. You might want to skip town or find a disguise, or you and your friends will all end up in pies. But this is our home, where our families live. Do you think the geese could forget and forgive? Racking his brain for a way to bounce back. Or perhaps they'll consider an alternative snack. Thankfully, the neighbours offer their aid. It has to be tasty and, of course, be homemade. Together they plan to win everyone's favour with a sweet and spectacular that's brimming with flavour. Much later on, the mood is more mellow. The sky blends to shades of red, orange and yellow. Then a drum roll of crickets all strumming in pairs leads to a willow tree curtain where a loud voice declares, "My lake ducks and gander geese, you beautiful crowd! The dragonflies are sorry for being so loud. So here, at a time when you won't want to snore, is quite a performance that will make you want more." Dragonfly prances while the grebe taps her feet, both moving perfectly in time with the beat. A harmonious chorus joins in on the show. The geese feel their hearts lift as they start to let go. And as a final gesture from your friends at the lake, they unveil a crumbly, velvety, sweet, creamy cake. The dragonflies buzz around in a flurry of fuss, in formation to spell, "Could you please forgive us? Our performances will be in the evening from now. Consider this promise a dragonfly vow." The geese, without hesitation or pause, all flap their wings and honk in applause. Dancing into the night, they all laugh, swirl and sway, and even the dragonflies need to sleep in the next day.
Oh. That's lovely. And as I said, I've just been watching you read it and just looking at the illustrations. They really genuinely are beautiful. So well done.
Thank you very much. Make me cry.
No.
It's been a lot of late nights
Yeah.
after Meg's gone to sleep and,
yeah.
oh gosh, a few 2 o'clock finishes as well.
Yeah.
just to make sure that it's all just to the right. I'm too much of a perfectionist to have let anything.
I know.
That I'm not
Well,
happy with.
I'm a Nighthawk as well, so I think you and I have been
Yeah, we
on
end up emailing in the
messages.
middle of the night,
Yeah. So does Meg like it?
Oh, I wish I could say yes. She does love the pictures, but she's going through a phase at the moment where she does not want me reading to children at all. I used pretty much all last year. I think I was just very lucky that I got away with being able to just take her along to readings and just have her be in the audience.
Yeah.
And she'd just sit and watch me, just like in wonder. Right now, she's in terrible twos, and she's pretty much saying, "No, mummy, you're not reading to all these children. You're my mummy."
Yeah, so she wants
they-
to climb on your lap, and
I mean, I'd even let her climb on my lap, but she's just not happy with it whatsoever. So she's been very protective and but at the end of the day, I'm her mum, aren't I? So that's so it's babysitting duties for grandparents. And,
but when
daddy.
you read it at home to her, though, she's like when you're on
loves
your own.
She loves the illustrations.
Yeah.
And she's.
Do you see any creativity in her?
She knows how to hold a pen properly.
Mm-hmm.
She's 2 years old and she's got a good. I can't remember what the grip's called, but she's got the right grip on a pencil.
Okay.
So it's a good sign. She's very got fine motor skills. Are really really.
Well,
good,
that's
really
positive then.
Yeah.
Because that could be something. How old is she? 2, did you
She's
say?
2,
Yeah.
yeah.
So, another year and a half, you'll start to be able to draw together probably and see what her abilities are. But that would be exciting.
That would be exciting. Yeah. Just I'm not going to be pushy mum. At the end of the day, whatever she wants to be. I mean, Chris is obviously on the science side of things and the more kind of the technical side of things as well. So whatever she wants to be, I'm happy to support.
Yeah, I know, but I'm just saying it'll be fun to do that together because
God,
all kids love to draw and it's just some are better than others.
I do. At the end of the day, it's fun with whether you're good or not. You just crack on and like that's one thing that's really great doing with the kids in setting up workshops and things like that. It's nice.
Well, speaking of that, you've got a workshop. Well, not a workshop, I guess, just a storytelling session this Saturday.
Yes, I've got 2 stories. Well, I've got a school on Friday in Bredbury up north in Stockport because I'm going to see my parents, so I've got a little reading up there. I've got one at Newton the Willows on Friday where the book's based, which will be at Newton Library at 2:15. And then on Saturday, I'm at Hope Library as well. I've forgotten the time.
Yeah, I think that's 10 o'clock.
10 o'clock
Yeah.
for that one. So, I'm really looking forward to reading at Hope Library as well because it's a lovely, lovely little library.
It is, yeah. That's in Flintshire, if anybody's wondering where that is. So it's probably about 15 minutes from Wrexham, 20 minutes from Chester, if anybody would like a nice little community library there. Yeah. So, good luck with those. But that also gives you more confidence, too, when you start reading aloud and
definitely
having the children interact with you and so on.
Yeah.
You've got mascots as well. So you've got the 3 foxes and you've got a little dragonfly.
I've got a little dragonfly.
Which is gorgeous.
I wanted to have one that was actually looked like the dragonfly. There's not many that don't look a bit weird, really, that you can get hold of. And
so you
I've
made this one. Yeah. No, it's lovely.
But it's quite Christmas. It looks like a Christmas decoration at the moment. So I'll put pictures up on my Facebook.
We'll take a photo today here in the studio, and then I'll put that up on my Facebook page as well, which is the Indie Author Show, if anyone's looking for it. I've been trying to change the name to Pen and Ink, but
nice.
Facebook is having none of it. So, I kind of don't want to set up a new one because I've already got all those likes and followers on the other one. So anyways, if anybody's looking, it's either the Indie Author Show or Pen and Ink, but I'll put the picture up. Yeah, it looks lovely. And as you said, you'll put a little bit of fishing line or something so that because it can kind of bounce around and dance.
It'll obviously fly around all by itself because it's real.
Yeah.
there's no smoke and mirrors, obviously. But I want to have it be a bit more interactive with the kids when we do some bits. So quite like that thought of having it flying around above the children. So hopefully I'll get that sorted for Friday.
For Friday, yeah.
That'd be nice.
So do you have any other sessions over the Christmas holiday?
I'm just going to keep it at that, I think, just until for the lead up for Christmas. Then I can just focus on just having a nice time with Meg and with my husband as well, and seeing the rest of the family all over the place because we're some in Stockport, some in Lichfield, some we get around the place. So really looking forward to just enjoying Christmas and just watching some terrible Christmas movies.
Yeah,
and
there's some fun ones. We all have our favourites with those.
Yeah.
you and I are both at the first North Wales Author Expo.
Yeah.
It's the 25th of January. So
This
I'm
will be
going
news to
there
my
with
husband,
Team
by the way.
Author. And yeah, sorry.
It's all right.
Sorry about that.
I haven't spoken
Well,
to
you've
him
got to
about it
tell
yet.
him at some point.
By the way, on the 25th, you're going to be looking after Meg.
So there's this is the first sort of one of these that's happened. So, we don't have any experience of being at one before, but there's going to be
Right.
different authors and workshops, and there's some storytelling
Yeah.
sessions as well if people want to bring along their children, because it is a Saturday. So that is in Wrexham. And there'll be details on my Facebook page about that more if anyone's interested. I'll be there with Team Author stand, and having a few of our other authors will be on that stand as well.
Yeah.
And I think you'll be doing a storytelling session.
Yeah, I'll do a storytelling session and see. I think that from the looks of things, there might be some other bits as well going on for the kids as well. So we'll see what.
Yeah.
I think it's all being sorted out now, isn't it? So
Yeah.
we'll see what. We'll publicise it on our pages, won't we? So
Yeah.
I'm really looking forward to that and getting to grips with a few bits in the coming years. So yeah.
And speaking of Hope Library, I'm actually on the another one of my 3,000 committees that I'm on. I'm on the Hope Library events committee. So we also have another children's author coming in on the 30th of January. Not 30th of January, 30th of December. Yeah, I just stop and think. I'm sure it's the 30th of December. And you can find the Hope Community Library Facebook page as well, if anybody wants to have a look. And there'll be pictures, I'm sure, of Sarah after her session on Saturday. But on the 30th of December, we have Jackie Bloor. And Jackie's also a author and storyteller from Wrexham area. So Jackie has done a few books. And she's just a brilliant storyteller as well. She really gets into it, and she does it for her living.
Yeah.
So if anybody is looking for things to do with their children over Christmas, then pop down to Hope Library. Again, that's the morning session from 10 till 12. Actually, you can go to the Hope Library on a Saturday morning with children. They usually have some kind of crafts or things going on, whether there's a storytelling session or not. They still have activities for children to do.
There's so many libraries that do. I think that the more that it's worth popping in, at least follow your library's Facebook pages and just see what it is that's going on there, and make sure that you set it so that you hear first what's going on there, because these libraries need supporting.
Yeah, and whether if you're an author as well, you get in touch with your local libraries, because they're constantly looking for people to put things on. Now, they don't pay you to go, but you can sell your books in most cases. So it's just exposure for you. It gives you practice. It gives you something to talk about on your social media. I mean, there's loads of different reasons why you should do that. So, and just remember that if you're inside in this safety confines of your living room, you're not outreaching people, and therefore they don't know about you. So you need to sometimes move out of your comfort zone, and libraries are a really good first point of call. I find bookshops typically aren't that supportive of independent authors. Well, they're not that supportive of authors.
It depends on the bookshop.
It does. That's what I was going to say. Like, certain bookshops, we have Waterstones here in Wrexham with Jed as the manager, and Jed's fantastic. We also have Right Blend in Liverpool. I can't think off the top of my head, but I know there's a couple others
out though, aren't they?
that, and so all you can do is ask.
Yeah.
And if they say no, they say no.
Yeah,
It's
you
their
can't,
loss.
You can't take it personally. And at the end of the day, you do what you do, and you're enjoying it. So,
Whitchurch Library is another one.
oh yeah,
Yeah, so you're not that far from Whitchurch, are you? No, probably about.
Not
I
far.
think, yeah.
Or anyway, but yeah.
So Whitchurch Library is also another one that's very supportive of authors, independent authors, and
Fantastic.
they will have events. So yeah, we were just talking about what comes next for you. So you've got 2 books under your belt. You can actually say, I am an author. You're not just a first timer. You're an author, because you've got 2 books
That
now.
was series.
And with Team Author, we're always very big on mascots because we think so. Whenever we go to an event, we've got a table full of children's authors and all their mascots. And
God, we look crazy, don't we? We look like legitimately insane,
Well-
but it's great because I was just saying to her when I arrived, I always look like a crazy person whenever I go to play like any author events because I've got a bag with like soft toys in my like little foxes and little just kind of like
Well,
freaking out.
I was out for lunch, Christmas lunch, with Jude Lennon, who's one of our children's authors, and she's got several children's books. But she was the one who started it all off because she has the Lemmy series. So, but she didn't even bat an eye anymore.
she's just
She shows up, and Lemmy and Flossie come out of the bag, and they're sat right on the table with us. And
I think she's fairly convinced that they are 100% like alive, and there's even all of her social media posts
says-
are very
yeah, she says, we don't have children, but we have lambs. So it's quite
great
funny
stuff.
because a friend of mine from Canada was, I think every year they go to Niagara Falls at some point in November, and go see the falls are beautiful over Christmas because they light up they put all different lights on the falls, and it's a beautiful place to be. Anyway, she was there and she was taking pictures, and then she said, and then she posted this picture of this sort of, it wasn't a stuffed animal, but it was a doll, basically, and it was sitting on the edge, and this woman was taking pictures of it, and so my friend was saying how strange is this? And then she said, because she was actually taking pictures of the lady taking pictures of the doll. So she was posting this on Facebook, and she was saying, yeah, the lady said, because I asked her, she said, the lady said she takes this doll everywhere. And I was laughing, and I was thinking, actually, I know quite a few people
do that.
do that too. It's not quite as weird as what you think it is.
Like depends on the company you keep, where it is on your weird scale.
Well, as authors, you're always looking for things to post on social media. So I think the mascots, and the children love them. I mean, when you go to events, obviously you take that.
God. I swear
They just wanna
they
touch
want the
them
foxes more than me because
they are so cute.
they are cute, the foxes. They're really soft, and they have to keep getting
And they're
in a
just going to
wash.
love this dragonfly as well.
Oh yeah, well,
But-
we'll have to see if it keeps together.
Maybe have a backup.
Yeah,
Maybe have a second one.
it's like it's
Yeah.
don't want to massacre in the middle of a breeding.
So one of the things, if you are an author and you're listening to this, is what we recommend is if you are a children's author that you can either, sometimes it depends what your character is. As you say, you can buy foxes fairly easily, but you can't. It's difficult to buy a dragonfly.
Geese.
It depends
I can't get over
in
how
geese.
hard it is to find.
Well,
I'll
I'll get you a geese, a goose.
Oh, will we be
When
able
I'm
Oh,
I'm actually going back at Easter.
Is it?
So I'll get you a goose because there's Canadian geese everywhere in Canada, obviously.
Oh,
But
see.
my point is that you take wherever you go, you set up opportunities to take images with your book and with your mascots, and that's what you share. And a lot of people will send their mascot with, if they've got I know Claire Kappa, for one, she has Arnie the armadillo. So she has a big armadillo, and then she's had a few little ones crocheted or
So
knitted. I'm not
sweet.
sure.
Gorgeous.
I think they're knitted. And so sometimes if you're an author, you might want to send one of your little ones with somebody who's going away on holiday. They can take pictures of the character on their travels. Yeah. So again, it's all about marketing. So once you thought illustrating and writing and publishing the book was difficult, then you've got the marketing side of it. So that's where Team Author comes in as well. We help you to kind of navigate all the things that work and don't work, and give you some guidance on that. I should actually mention on the 8th of February, I'm having a marketing workshop, and it's going to be very bespoke. So I don't want huge numbers, no more than 10 people. And that's going to be, I haven't exactly confirmed the location because I'm looking at two different options, but it'll be in sort of the northwest region here, the northeast region, I guess. But it's going to be very bespoke to each author and their book, and what exactly can you be doing. So if anyone's listening and is interested in that, then you can get in touch with me. because I think that's one area that Team Author needs to give a little bit more guidance on is the marketing side. Now, I know you working in an advertising agency.
Well, I did placements in advertising agencies, and then I got into marketing technically after going through a series of jobs. But yeah, I was marketing is one of the things that I've done in the past. Yeah.
So you, it kind of comes naturally to you, or you maybe don't think about everything, but if I was to tell you to do this, then you would be perfectly capable of carrying that through. Whereas a lot of authors, they really struggle because they are just really writers at heart, and marketing is not their forte, so they really have to come out of their comfort zone. So that I feel that's a responsibility that for 2020 I want to take a little bit more seriously, because I have a marketing communications background myself, which is why I'm on the radio, I guess. But I just want to give a bit more guidance on if I can lay out sort of step by step, this is what you need to do, this is who you can contact, this is things you can put on your social media, then it'll just give people a kickstart, and hopefully then they'll get the confidence and then be able to carry it through.
Exactly. It's just like you say, definitely the confidence to be able to take it a bit further. But once you actually kind of start doing it, it does get easier. It's just pushing yourself out there.
And storytelling is a wonderful thing if you're a children's author, because there are, as you know, the children just love the stories, they love the mascots, they love meeting the author. There's so much, and then that's another opportunity for you to sell your books.
Yeah, definitely.
So
it's just lovely to see the reactions, though, more than anything. That's what that's why you do it, isn't it?
Yeah.
So to be able to actually get it live really makes a difference, I think, with your morale boosting and everything as well, and just gives you the momentum to do some more. So.
Now, these books are available on Amazon.
Yes.
And you also have a very active website. So do you want to tell us your website?
Yeah, it's at www.sparkyauthor.com.
And your Facebook page
is Sparky Author, or Sarah Parkinson Sparky Author. Instagram I'm on as well with Spark Author, and Twitter is Sparky Author.
Okay.
So yes,
but your website, you put videos on, and you've got lots of facts about all the animals that are featured in your series.
Yeah, I'm going to build on that as well, and build more into it. But there's colouring sheets to download. There's a lot of art prints that you can download to print off and have in the kids' nurseries and things as well. So there's a lot on there if you should go and check out the website. Loads to go at.
Okay, repeat your website again, just for those.
www.sparkyauthor.com.
Okay, cool. and Facebook, I think if you just look for her under Sparky Author, you'll find her on all the different social medias.
Yeah.
So good luck to you for. Oh, we were just going to mention your third book, and you're not sure which book is going to come out next, but
a few ideas for the. Well, I've got a load of different characters to work into the series, and then there's various books that are at certain stages. But there's probably about 3 that I'm deciding between which ones to put out next, but I'm hoping for July this year rather than leaving it a year, because I'm not moving house this year. I'm staying here. I've got the time, so
so July of 2020. Then we'll look for the third book. Yeah. And so if anybody listening would like to have Sarah come to a local library, bookshop, or school, or nursery, or any kind of event, again, you can contact her on her Facebook page at sparkyauthor.com.
That's it.
And thank you so much, Sarah, for coming in and sharing your lovely work. As you did get to Amazon bestseller, the #1 bestseller spot on both your books. So that all happens with activity on Amazon. When you when a number of people buy your book, then it helps with all these things that are going on in the background of Amazon, the algorithms and so on. They notice the activity, and that's how books get moved up the charts.
Yep.
So so congratulations on that. And so
Makes it
keep
more
up the
visible.
good work.
Yeah, thank you.
And good luck at Hope Library and Newton Le Willow.
That's it, Newton the Willows Library, and I'll be at school as well. So
Yeah.
Brebby
Okay.
Green.
Okay, and there's lots going on in 2020 with Team Author as well. So I'm looking forward to telling you more about that. I'll be back in January. I am doing a little Christmas show that will be played over the Christmas holidays here on Callan FM. But I'll be back in, I think it's the second Wednesday of January. I'll be back with my live show. Not sure who my guest is going to be at this point, but we'll worry about that at the time. So I'm going to play another track, and this one, I promise you, is not by Slade. It's by the
Slade
Ronettes.
guarantee.
So, yeah, the Ronettes who've been in the news. So, Merry Christmas to everyone, and keep writing, keep reading, keep supporting indie authors. And one other thing I should tell you about is on the Team Author UK website page, we have the Christmas bookshelf. So it's been running from the December 1st to December 20th. On every day, there's 2 books are featured. I know the Shoe Foxes were featured on. I don't know if they've come up or they're still to come. So there's a children's book and an adult book every day from the 1st to the 20th of December. So go on to the Team Author UK Facebook page, and you can scroll through and see all the ones. We post a new one each day. We're also on Twitter at Team Author UK, and it just will give you some ideas on some books by independent authors. If you could help support them for Christmas, that would be wonderful.